Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is one and only Kurunde Tani, and today we have a very special guest with us. Well, her name is Cecilia Hector. She's a 3P coach, and in her own journey, she has been through ADHD, bipolar, and anxiety. So today, she's going to share her journey and her transformation from ADHD, bipolar, and anxiety by the understanding of three principles. So, with honor and pleasure, let's welcome Cecilia Hector. Hi, Cecilia. How are you today?
Hi, Karan. Thank you very much. I'm good. I'm fine. It's nice to be here and that we can talk even if I'm in Sweden and you are in India. Yeah, that's very nice to connect like this. And before the three principles, I didn't do things like that. I wasn't on social media at all.
So good to have you here, Cecilia. And before we start, could you please tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, and my anxiety and worries started when I was little, and I think it was in the school. I started to feel that I wasn't good enough. I had problems to concentrate in school. I wanted to play. I didn't want to sit in the chair and listen. So I was up in my head with my things, and I think I didn't hear at all what the teacher said. So uh, then I felt that I didn't understand what they were talking about, and that they started to criticize me for not knowing, and I felt that I couldn't understand like the others. So I got thoughts about me not good enough, and my parents they wanted me to start over again a year, and when they did that, I got the feeling even more that I'm not like the others. They know, and they can do the test, but not me. So I had a lot of thoughts early in my life to not be like the others. And I've got friends. I had friends, but I went to the sister in school, the the one who's taking care of when you're not feeling good, the nurse. And yeah, I think it started very early when I was little. And yeah, so thoughts about all the time not be like the others.
Okay.
Um,
Mhm. So at what age did you discover that you had bipolar and ADHD?
yeah, so when I had those feelings, I went on with my life feeling like this, and it was like a bubble that gets bigger and bigger, and when I was in the teenage, I started to get problems with the food. I was overeating, and sometimes I didn't eat, and I had to go to the doctor and to talk all the time, or a psychiatrist, uh, and I get depressed because I had all those feelings that I couldn't make school, that I wasn't like the others. So I started to take medicine and had my first depression when I was 20, 25, maybe a little older, and got medicine for that. But it didn't get me better. I was always worried and had sad thoughts, and it went up like this. I could be very happy sometimes, but it was many times that I felt like I was sad. I wasn't like the others. It was many therapy forms that I needed to go to, and they told me that I had ADHD, and I was reading a lot of that in books, and how are you when you have that kind of diagnosis. So it was a lot of thinking about that all the time, and I had 2 children, and when they were young, I was working a lot, and I had a lot of I told myself to be better all the time. So I had a lot to do all the time, working, and be good for them. And then I get very tired, but I didn't rest. So I was feeling more tired in my body, and I was feeling sad a lot. Because I didn't understand what was happened to me when I felt like that, when I was sad. I didn't understand that I maybe should take a rest and just be. I thought other people could do more than me, and that they were better than me. So I was doing a lot all the time so people could like me, because I couldn't like myself. I wasn't good enough for myself. And I didn't felt that I was that I didn't enough, like mother or yeah.
And how did you find the 3 principles, and how did they change your life?
Yeah, but it started when my daughter was 15. She get depressed, and we had to go to the psychiatry a lot. And when I was handling that all the time with my child, I felt more and more sad about me and get more and more tired. So I had to stay to the hospital many times, and they gave me electric shocks in my head because I was so depressed. So I couldn't handle it, and I was taking a lot of medicine, a lot of pills, and alcohol, and then I couldn't take care of myself. So I had to come to a retreat center. And when I was there at the retreat center, I started to listen to. I saw a YouTube clip with 2 guys sharing the 3 principles. So I heard something when they were talking, and then I had a very sad moment in my apartment with myself, where I came to a very, very hurtful place in myself, where I wanted to commit suicide, and it was so dark and difficult that I suddenly woke up. I felt something very, very deep inside of me that I didn't felt before, and it came so suddenly over me, that it made me woke up. And when I woke up, I saw that this was made up, that it wasn't true. I saw that I had thought that I was sick, that I had all this kind. It was a very wake up, and then I know that I have heard those guys sharing about thoughts and the three principle, and it was the same that I had felt that they were talking about. So I started to listen more and more to them, and then I started to feel better. I didn't want to go in those therapy forms anymore, and I didn't want to stay at that retreat center. So I wanted to come home. So I did, and I listened more and more to those guys, podcasts, and videos. And then I met them. And after that, I went to the 3P school they had, academic school, and practice the three principles. And it was very difficult in the beginning when I started it, because I knew for a split second in that retreat center that I wasn't mentally sick, but I still had those worry thoughts. So I didn't see, I couldn't see what was happening, that it was my thoughts. So I had to listen a lot, and I did for a long time. Not only those school, I went to a lot of retreats and webinars and books. Listened to Sydney Banks and or Dicken or Natasha, or many 3P practitioner. So it made a shift, a very deep shift in me, from being that sick and needed to use all those medicine and alcohol, and I didn't need to do that anymore. And that's a transformation, to see that I don't need that. That is what's up in my head, my thoughts about that I had started it. It started in my head.
For me, it is all magical. Like if I go to doctors and clinics, all they suggest is that we take medicine and bipolar is not curable. But seeing your transformation, seeing your shift, it really amazes me.
Yeah.
And I would like to ask you, who were the two guys that you listened to that made the change?
It was Dennis Westerberg and
Hmm.
Thomas Lidahl,
Hmm.
Swedish guys.
Swedish guys.
Yeah, Swedish, but they are good in talking English too. But they have made a lot for many people in Sweden, and I'm so thankful for them to pointing me to this, because I had never heard about it. I was 48 years, and it's 2 years ago, and it was, if you had seen my eyes for 2 years ago, it has been blackened and just not here. I wasn't here. I was in my dream, nightmare, and they just wanted me to trust them, to point me, and I had so much pain in my body. All my body was in pain. I had troubles with my I can't remember the name, but this inside here.
In your tonsils?
No,
All right.
it's hormone illness.
I don't know. Pituitary
No,
gland?
yeah, I can't know the
That's okay.
name now, but
Mhm.
it feels in the whole body.
Okay.
So so no, it's this that I had, that I feel that I have been able to come home again to who I am, and to my heart, because I have been out there and lost in myself. I did listen to all the psychiatrists and the doctors and everyone. I felt that everyone knew more than me about me. They told me how to live my life, not me. And so I felt lost. I felt like I wasn't able to connect with myself. And now I can listen more deeply inside. I can feel if I don't know how to do with something, I can just step back and be still for a while, and then it comes to me what to do. So I just love the pointing with what those two guys did, and what the three principles do with Sydney Banks and everyone, that points me back to home, to my inner guide, to my wisdom, so I know how I need to live my life. And that's the transformation, really, to come back to myself, and not to everyone thinking this or wanting this. And I didn't know about that we are guided like this. I didn't have that connection at all with my inner guide. I knew now that I have been carried by it my whole life, but I didn't know it before for myself. But I have going through all these things in my life, and I'm still here. And I didn't become suicide, but it was very close. And that's why I want to point other people to see that I can be that hope for someone who think that they have all those kinds of diagnoses. because I thought that I had those. But now I see that it was my thinking, and that it's not true, that I needed to stay there. It was just a temperature or a place where I was in that moment, but I'm not there. I'm not there anymore. And when I'm talking about my past now, I'm not feeling that I'm in it anymore. It's not now. So it's so nice to see that there is a place in every one of us that we can rest. There is an outside world and an inside world, and that I can rest in my inside world for a while. If I think it's very noisy, I don't have to go in everything, all the problems. They look like very much noise, but when I come down for a moment, I can see that it's up in my head, and I don't need to work it out, everything, all that noise. I can step back. So it's important I think it's very important to point people in the right direction, because in Sweden, I see many people always talking about illness. We're talking about illness all the time, and the illness doesn't help us to talk about. We don't need to go in that direction to speak about that. So I want to point people to see what's now, this moment, and that we are able to feel our heart and to rest in the body. And when I feel that I'm calm in my body, I know that I'm right. And if I feel like tense, I know I'm up in my head. And that's only the difference, to know. Either I'm up in my head, or I'm in the wisdom, or in my soul. And to get those two together, the body and the soul. To take care of the body, and to rest in the soul. This moment.
Beautiful. Yeah, this is it. We never realize that we have a connection with our wisdom, and that is always, always 24/7 guiding us. And this is true that all the doctors, they are just focusing on mental illness, and no one talks about mental health.
No.
Here in 3P community, this is what we do, guide us back to our wisdom. Beautiful. I would like to ask you, that you have had your own insight on realization into your true nature. So how do you define mind, thought, and consciousness? How do you define the three principles?
How did I find it? Or
How do you define what are the three principles?
aha, the three principles, they point me to what I am, to who we are, that we are this three principles walking on this in this life. It just explains who we are, that we are those. We can't take away one of them, because we are those three together, and they make us for what we are.
Okay. And what are mind, thought, and consciousness?
What they are. We have this life, this energy in us, and it lives by that. That's the light. That's the that make us live, because something kicks when life starts, when we are little babies. Something do that the heart starts to beat, and to everything to work out. For me to talk and to put my hands up, I need to have life in my body, and I need to have my mind, and to feel, to smell, and to feel, and to recognize things, what I see around me, and the senses. And then I have to think, and whatever I think, I feel. So I can know if I have a good feeling or a bad feeling. I can feel it with my sense in the body, and I can only know what I where I am in the oh, I can't find the word. I see what I see. I mean, I see what I see where I am now. And when I was in that bad mood before, for 2 years ago, I saw what I saw. I couldn't see this then. I thought that I needed to take those pills and the alcohol, and I thought that I was my thoughts. So our thoughts, when we believe in our thoughts, we become that. And that can shift for a split second everything we think about. I can have a bad feeling now, and I can have a good feeling. So it goes up and down like the weather. It shifts very quickly. But if I know that it's not me, it's the thought, I can just stay with it, and knowing. So I think it is the knowing and the trust that we are the three principles behind all the noise.
True, absolutely. And I can see that many people suffering through anxiety, bipolar, ADHD, and they think there's no way out. They have been suffering for years and years, but still they can't just find a way out. And this understanding of three principles just makes the change. It makes us realize that we all have innate mental health within.
For me, it's a transformation from the inside and out. That it doesn't, you can, people out there can tell me whatever they like about ADHD and bipolar and things like that. But I see it now like I'm nothing about that. But it only tells me where I am with my thoughts. That's the only thing. So it's very important to tell people that they are not the diagnosis. And I don't like the pills, because the pills made me to do things they make me do things that I wasn't I didn't have that energy. And when I took the pills, it gives me energy with the ADHD. So I had more energy, and then I get more tired. So it's better to not take those, because it makes it worse. It did for me, but it's up to people to do whatever they like. But for me, I think it was better to not. I don't take any pills at all, and I had a box, big box with medication, and I throw it all, everything about it. Then I could come back to me. Because when you drink and you eat all those, you are so dizzy up here, you can't think. You be like an idiot. So I get to clean my head, not have all those kinds of things, drugs in my body, because it is drugs. And those drugs, they get symptoms in the body too. It's not always the diagnosis. It's the symptoms also when you have when you take pills, drugs. You feel in your body. It's difficult to know what is the medicine, or what is the thoughts in what is the body.
And how did you stop taking the medicines? I mean, it's very difficult for those who have been taking medicines for years. If suddenly they stop, their body starts reacting, you know. So how did you overcome
Yeah,
the
I want
medicines?
to say that the doctor helped me, and I took it out one step at a time. But it wasn't like that. So I'm not good to ask because I quit with everything, just dropped it, and because I asked for help many times, but they didn't help me at the hospital. So I needed just to do it, and it wasn't good at all for me to do like that, because I nearly could die. It was very tough. So that wasn't a good idea to point people to. But if they can find a doctor who can help them to put out one after one, but maybe it have to be a doctor who can point in this direction. A 3P doctor.
Okay, a 3B doctor. Because I can see by this understanding, many people have had a big shift, but still getting rid of the pills might not be a good idea. So they might want to consult their doctor and ask them how they can start getting rid of the pills. So for you, was it like just a sudden moment that you got rid of them, or was it a gradual process?
No, I just quit.
You just quit? Okay.
Yeah, I just quit with everything. But
Mhm. And what was the
because
reaction in the body after
oh,
you quit?
it was
Yeah.
terrible. It was really terrible. I had to stay at the hospital because I had a very hurtful pain in my legs, and my muscles like like this. So and I was sweating. Is it? And my heart was like this. No, I didn't feel good at all. So I can't tell people to do that. But I did it because I felt like I have to do. I couldn't take it step by step. I needed to just throw it away.
It was difficult, but you did it. And now
Yeah,
you're
it
free.
was very, very difficult. I could have died,
Oh my God.
but yeah. So I don't tell people to do that. But and now when I'm clear in my head, I can't understand how many drugs they gave me. So many different things I had, and now I can see what I didn't get clear in my head. How should I? Or how could I? With all those drugs, it make me be a idiot up here to have all those, and together with alcohol. Because I didn't care when I felt so sad. I didn't care. I just want to quit, to stop everything, to not live anymore, because it was too hard. No one could help me. I had tried everything, even the electric shocks, and staying at the hospital many times, and staying at the retreat center, and it didn't work. So I didn't want to be here anymore. And I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about my family, my kids, no one. And now, with this understanding and my and everything that have come back to me step by step, the healthy, I can't. It's not like that anymore. So the mind can shift very quickly from the dark to the light, and from the light to the dark. And when you are in that dark, you can't see. So you can do things like commit suicide. And don't think that the family will react. You think only that if I do this, it will be better for my family and for my kids. To don't need to take care of me anymore. And now I'm happy that they don't need to to be without their mother, that I'm here and can follow them and my grandchild also. So that's a big difference for my family, that they have me back again in life. So I don't know if I didn't had found those guys, I don't think I should be here. I would be here. This is the first thing in life that I have searching for, that made this shift with the 3 principles. And I have tried a lot in many years, but nothing have pointed me home and told me that I am already everything that I need to be. I have always heard that it's something wrong with me. I have to change things. And now I know that that's not true. That I'm whole, complete, and that the noise is my thinking and others thinking about me. And the noise can be very noisy.
Yes, I've been there. Noisy
Yeah.
mind. Yeah.
And don't you feel, Karen, that you sometimes go in and out in it still?
Yeah, we all do. I still
Yeah,
do.
we all do.
Yeah.
So we're not free all the time to. I see it like this. I am free to feel all the feelings that a human being would ever feel. That I'm not happy all the time and I'm not sad all the time. I have everything. And but it's the trust that I don't need to stay in the dark feeling all the time and for so long. That helps me. But I still have those days or hours when I feel sad or I feel that I'm not good enough. But it's not like before. I know now that there's nothing wrong with me because I have those feelings. But I have those, and I thought that I needed to be positive all the time, but we can't be.
It's true, we can't be, because we have tried positive thinking, but what we need to realize is that we don't have to fight with our negative thinking. We have to let them go. And since our true nature is positive thinking, the divine thoughts, they always come automatically.
Yeah.
Would you please talk a little about wisdom?
Yeah, wisdom. I have seen these 2 years that I have been that I am carried by my wisdom, and we have different things telling us what to do. You have your wisdom telling you what to do, and I mine, but we're always carried by it. So I can just calm down the noise and stay with it with my heart, and then I could see what to do with things, what I should do in. And that there are something bigger than the personal Cecilia, who knows, who can guide me to what I should do. But maybe I have to stay still so I can listen, so I can hear it. And when I don't know how to do, I also know that's a message for me to stay a little still, to slow down, so I can hear. Maybe I will be guided to what I should do. And I have seen that for these 2 years. I have seen that time after time, things after things, what I should do. So I know that, and there's so much that I can't control, that I can't see. The little Cecilia, or the personal Cecilia. And our ego wants a lot of things, but our wisdom knows. So I need to follow my wisdom and my heart, and not the ego, the personal. So that's a good thing to calm down and to accept that we don't know. We can follow life and don't know everything, like I used to want to do. I wanted to figure everything out and have control. I wanted to control everything, but I know now that it's not up to me. I have this wisdom in my that I can and I can wait and see. If I don't know, maybe I will be guided if I listen and feel. And it comes to me what I should do.
Beautiful. And how do we receive guidance from wisdom? Does it come from our feelings, or does it come in some thoughts?
It comes from the inside. I mean, it comes from a source that just come up. It's not my thoughts like that. It's just a knowing, a deeper knowing that comes from a deeper place, that I felt when I wanted to quit my job. I wanted to stay at my work because it was good to work in the night. So I can now, when I'm a 3P coach, I could do things with the 3P things that I running with podcast and like that. But the wisdom said, and the heart said, no. Your heart is not with it. You have to follow your heart. So, but the personal Celia wanted to stay.
And
So it
these
comes
days,
from a deeper place.
deeper place. Yes. Yeah. For me, when I have an insight, it comes from a feeling of love and understanding. If I had grudges against somebody, and if I let go of those thoughts, automatically I'm guided by my wisdom. I have good feelings and just an insight, as you said, insight, a realization from within, just understanding them and loving them more. All right. These days, I see many people suffering from ADHD and especially bipolar and also anxiety. Anxiety is everywhere. Lots of people are suffering from anxiety. So, what message or what hope do you have for them?
To not get caught up in it, because it's not telling you the truth, that you can come down from that noise and see it from another place, a more deeply place in ourselves, where there are love and wisdom and compassion and knowing, and that this feelings, it's just a message that when you have those bad feelings, it's just a message that you are up in your head. You have believed in your thoughts, and when we have bad thoughts, it feels horrible in the body. I know. I have felt it, all those horrible feelings. It can really, really hurt. Really, really hurt. But the hurt is a message. Is what it is. It's a message for us to know that we are up in our head and not in our heart. And when we are in the heart, it's more easy, and it feels good. It feels, we feel love, and we feel positive feelings, and we are more happy, and but deeply happy. It's not a theater. So that's why I say we are guided. We are guided from the inside, because we know when we feel a good feeling or a bad feeling. And bad feeling are just like a storm. It's just passing by. It's not going to stay here for so long. It will be passing, and we are the one staying here now, behind all this ups and downs, and behind the ups and downs.
We are beyond our thoughts.
Yeah.
Isn't it magical to know that all the years, all the sufferings that we have been going through, they're just in form of thoughts, and in a moment we can just realize our true nature and let them go. Just innate mental health.
Yeah, it's the knowing who can make us not to get so worried. When we know, we don't go with the, we don't go in the depression or in the we don't we can stay more calm, and we can also know if I get angry or I get very sad about what other people say to me. Maybe I'm not in the good place with myself either. So I think that they are hurting me in some way, saying this to me, and then maybe I have to just step back, and maybe it's up in my head. It looks more dark, than it is. And the mind can make many crazy things with us. It really can. It can be so. We can do things, very bad things, when we are up in our head. But the knowing that we are not our thoughts, we are behind. That's very hopeful. And a nice place to point to, that everyone is okay. Everyone is okay behind that.
And we are not broken.
No.
We are not.
It feels like we are, but that's all the messy thoughts we make up. It's the film, it's the movie, and the movie can be very scary, very scary. But with the 3 principles knowing, we know that we can turn it off, the movie, a little bit faster.
Yes, exactly.
But we are in the movie sometimes.
Yes, we all get caught up in our thinking in the movie, the movie inside, the story inside.
Yeah.
But since I've had this understanding or realization of the 3 principles, whenever I get caught up in my thinking, it doesn't take me long. I can just realize they are thoughts and I need to calm down. And the moment I calm down, the feelings also start passing by and my level of consciousness starts going up.
How long have you practiced the 3 principles?
Well, I don't practice them. I just live them.
You live them.
Yeah. So
practice or live, but we.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a language. For practice, it could be like consciously meditating, reading and getting knowledge, reading 14 steps. But living is just like being.
Yeah.
Like I can sense in you, you are 3 principles. The last question that I would like to ask you is what is the what are the levels of consciousness? Could you please talk about that? Could you talk about the levels of consciousness?
What we see or what we not see.
Mm-hmm.
And when we are caught up in our thoughts, we don't see. We can't see because the thoughts is standing away for the seeing. We can't see. So we see what we see. So there is a level, and it can always be bigger and go deeper what we see. For these 2 years, I have been seeing more and more and more, and it can only be it will be like this all my life, I think, because now when I go in this direction, I will have more and more insight, and that helps me to understand what happens with me when I go up and down in my mood. So we have to know when we open up, we can can see more and more about that we didn't know before. So it's open up for more knowing.
Exactly. So we see what we could not see before.
Yeah. And I can only talk about where I am now with my consciousness, because I see what I see, but it's a lot more than I did for 2 years ago. A lot. And I saw it for myself before I met the 3 principles. When I had my big upwake, I saw it. I saw it was a movie. I couldn't explain it, what was happened then. But now I can see that I could see behind everything that it was made up. And when I understood that, it hurt. It hurt that I had gone all my life with that story in my head and thinking about me in that horrible way. And that I had been listened to others pointing me in that illness, in the illness way. So I don't want to do that with people. I want them to know that they are under the noise, they are healthy, and that the thinking do this with us. They can put all kind of mess, dirty mess in our head, and we can't see it, and we don't understand what's happened. So we get silly. We get so silly. But it's so hopeful that we don't need to stay there when we just have a split second and open up our heart and have an insight. It can shift like that. Split second, it shifts like it did for me. 48 years and then shift, and I take another way, a much better way, a hopeful way. So this is hope. We do not need to think about us like sick, and we don't need to talk about illness all the time. Point people to where the good things are in life instead of telling them that they are wrong, because they're not. And when you tell young people that they are not good enough, they believe in it. And when we start to believe in those kinds of thoughts early in life, it feels like the truth. And that's sad to go through life like that. So now I made a shift. So I hope my family can shift with that, and we don't need to go this illness way anymore.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm so happy to see such a big transformation. And it's just magical for me. All
I
right.
haven't heard your story, but you can tell me maybe another time. But it's nice to talk to you also, Karan. I don't know what you gone through, or
Overall, I've been through overthinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was worry, stress, fear, guilt, low self-esteem, and whatnot. It was like a hell inside my mind. And I used to overthink a lot, a lot. So it's really such a beautiful experience to see the joy, to see the bliss in just this understanding that we are innate, we are not broken. And negative thoughts, we all go through them. We all go through them. I've also had suicidal thoughts, thoughts of feeling low about myself, depressing thoughts, worried thoughts, stressful thoughts. But I just had to realize that they're just thoughts. They don't identify me because I'm in it.
Mm.
All right. It's been a great time with you, Cecilia. Any last words for the audience?
Yeah, that we have all these kinds of thoughts. Everyone that we speak to can tell that they have these kinds of thoughts, but they are just thoughts, nothing more. And it feels very real. It does. But just to see if you can find this little voice inside hearing to slow down a little bit, so maybe you can feel the guide inside that can carry you through life bit by bit, and that it's okay to have all these feelings, to be sad and to be everything that comes through you, to stay with it and live through it. I think that's important to know, that life isn't just happy all the time, but if we can allow ourselves to have all our feelings, we feel happy and more light up, because life gets easier when we allow ourselves to stay with everything, and we don't need to search. We can just rest like small children, that we are good enough, and we are healthy, and just relax and slow down and listen to your heart, be in love.
Beautiful, beautiful. And those who would like to follow you, where can they find you?
They can find me on Facebook, and they can find me on Instagram and LinkedIn. I have my mail there too.
And do you also?
And I have a Swedish podcast. We haven't been
podcast,
speaking
okay.
English yet, but we have a Swedish podcast. But maybe later on it will be in English.
Yeah. And where can people find the podcast?
On Spotify, YouTube. There are videos on YouTube, and sometimes we can point people without understand the language. Just listen, because it's about the feeling and it's not about the words. Because I have been listened to many webinars in English, and English is not my first language, so there's so many words I can't understand. But I have been listen to the feeling, and the feeling points me home to my heart. So you can just listen to that on YouTube.
Beautiful.
Behind the noise, it's called in Swedish bortom bruset.
Okay. I will leave the details below so people can follow you and find the podcast. Okay. And do you also help clients online?
If I have
Do you see clients online?
clicks,
Sorry, I cannot say it clearly. I said, do you see clients online? Do you
it's a
have
client.
client? Yeah, client.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I can speak to people. Yeah, so guide people to see for themselves. Yes, I do. A repo coach. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so
So I have
those
my Facebook page,
Facebook page.
Cecilia
Okay.
Hector, 3P. Yeah.
All right. Those living out of Sweden, they can contact you. They can connect on
Yeah, and we
Zoom.
can talk
Yeah,
like here, like Zoom, FaceTime.
beautiful.
Yes, we can.
Beautiful. All right. So it's been a wonderful time with you. I'm very much grateful to
Yeah,
you.
thank you, Karan, for bringing me here and and
It's just my
that I
pleasure. I can't thank you enough for that. All right, Celia,
yeah.
thank you very much. And I hope to talk to you soon. Have an awesome day.
Yeah, I hope so too, Karan. I hope
Thank you
so
very
too.
much. Goodbye.
Love to everyone.
Same here.
Bye.
Bye.